The reason these games are close, or game one they won, is because Minnesota is just now that they're kind of silly. They're not Memphis, don't get me wrong, but they have a penchant for not playing up to their potential. Oh. And I don't think that means that they're going to get blasted in the next round. They could win the next round. But so it's, I don't want to say it's playing to the level of their competition, but they aren't playing well. And because they're not playing well, they could mess up and lose a game. Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll lose tonight. I think they'll go up 3-1. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I want to shout out Jonathan Kuminga, because it would have been easy, even as he might say the right things to Steve Kerr and put on a brave front, when you've been benched kind of embarrassingly like he was, it's easy to just not be in the right space to play well. And he's been great these last 2 games, 30 points last game. So he's done well for himself. But I think the Wolves win, but it wouldn't shock me just because they play with their food too much.
Do you feel like part of Bruce's theory is because they're like, you guys don't have Steph?
Correct.
Yeah.
Not entirely, because I do think that they were not playing well in game one when Steph was there, and then they weren't able to. It's not like in game one, just because Steph got hurt, they thought, oh, we've got this series. They didn't know how bad he was hurt, and they were losing that game, and they didn't play well. No, but I do think that the next 2 games, they have felt like, man, you guys can't win this series.
Yes, that's all.
And there was that soundbite of Ant talking to Gary Payton where he's like, you guys playing just to try to get this to 6 to get Wardell back. And Gary's like, yeah, that's the plan. Listen, I agree with Brew and Jonathan Kuminga. I thought he played a really good game, except for that final shot with 5 seconds left, which was totally unnecessary and cost certain people thousands and thousands of dollars. I think that Golden State got unlucky in game 3, and you can't get unlucky in this series and have any shot, because if Draymond doesn't foul out, they might win. Mm-hmm. And the Draymond foul out sequence was, if you're a Warrior fan, a maddening one, because it was a review of a different foul that then the proximate foul, they're like, actually, we missed that one, but Draymond. Right, which you just.
I didn't know you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
This wasn't really your take when it's how the Wolves beat the Lakers on that proximate review.
But actually, it wasn't. It was actually fouling the other guy.
That's literally exactly how the Wolves beat the Lakers in game 4. But regardless, and then the next time down the court, he gets I think it was a foul, but Draymond, I can't believe I'm doing this. In Draymond's defense, he knows my whole career, once I have 5 fouls, I get 2 free ones, guys. Did you not know I get 2 free ones?
Testing it at the rim.
It was dumb. No, but I'm saying
it was clearly a foul.
It was a foul, but he usually gets fouls 1 through 5, and then 6 and 7, don't do it again. And then foul 8 is when they foul him out. And at that point, they just weren't going to be able to stop Minnesota.
First off, stop acting like that's unique to Draymond. They do it to everyone. I'll never forget when Devin Booker was going to foul out of a game I think it was in the finals or maybe the round before that in the playoffs, and the dude had like 15 fouls in 2 minutes, and it was unbelievable. I wish I could find that clip. I'd have to look it up. I mean, it was just insane. They do that for all the stars. So, and love it or hate it, Draymond Green is an actual superstar and a worthy one at that. It wasn't unfortunate. They obviously played good enough to win. I think it's a nonsense narrative, though, that the Timberwolves are, playing with their food or playing down to their competition. The Golden State Warriors know how to win games. They know how to play. They're a high-quality dynasty. Okay, like what are we saying here? And we're gonna laugh and act like it's shocking that someone like Ant, who talks mad trash, and I love Ant, by the way, but who talks mad trash, and of course he's gonna say something to someone and be like, hey, you guys are just trying to survive until Steph. Like, that's shocking by any stretch of the imagination. Like, obviously, that's not breaking news. Everyone knows that Steph Curry is the best player, one of the greatest to ever do it. And yet, the Warriors were still able to come away with a win, and quite frankly, should be up 2-1. So you can say that all you want. Ant was talking a lot of trash saying that he was going to win last year. How'd that work out for him? He did not. He did not. You know, he was still doing a victory dance of beating the Lakers and then lost to the Warriors game 1. And quite frankly, what this has proven is that if Steph Curry was on this team, this Warriors team would be winning. Heck, they could be up 3-0 right now. So we don't have to pull down what the Warriors are doing. And you want to talk about unlucky? It's just unlucky that Steph's hurt. Like that's the true luck. That's the original, sin right there. As basketball fans, we should be frustrated because we were robbed of what could be a great series and what potentially is the better team. I always want to see the better team win. And I'm high on the Wolves. Like, I'm excited, and I'll if the Timberwolves end up winning and they're in the next round, like, I'll continue to be high on them because I believe in what they're doing and what they've built and who Ant is as well. But this isn't a matter of the Timberwolves playing with their food or playing down. No, they just still don't know how to truly play winning playoff basketball just yet. They're still figuring it out. Ant is still figuring it out. The Warriors have it figured out. The problem is one of their key pieces is missing. And it's frustrating because I talked about this with the Denver Nuggets when Jamal Murray wasn't playing, because everybody was trying to have takes like leading into the playoffs saying, oh, the Nuggets are in trouble, they're not good, etc., etc. And then they obviously fire their coach. And I'm like, well, Jamal Murray's not playing right now, so none of this matters. He's a massive piece for this team. So it's just like, none of it matters. And I talked about it in that clip where I was like, I get it. Nobody wants to have a take where we're like, well, these games don't really matter because Jamal Murray's not here, and in the playoffs, Jamal Murray's going to be there. Like, nobody wants to say that out loud. Nobody wants to admit that. And the reality is that this series, the take is Steph Curry's not there. And of course, we can't come up after every game and say, well, Steph Curry's not there. Steph Curry's not there. Steph Curry's not there. Like, nobody wants to necessarily hear that. But that is the reality of the situation. That is the take. That is the take. So we have to acknowledge that. That the Warriors know how to win. They know how to play winning basketball. But Steph Curry's down. And that has changed everything. And so then now we get forced to try to have conversations and unpack these games in ways that, kind of make something out of nothing. Or we try to invent new narratives or new storylines. Like, oh, well, Ant's just, he's just saying, you guys are just trying to survive without Steph. Like, yeah. Like, huh? Like, that's, okay, sure. So I don't know. It's a bummer. I'm still mourning this series, honestly. I really am. And that's why, I'm not rooting for anyone, but a part of me is like, I do hope the Warriors can win. Not because I'm rooting for the Warriors, but because like I want to be able to see them. I want to be able to see Steph play in another playoff game. That's really what I want to see more than anything. I want to see the great players play great. I want to be able to see a series where Steph can, come back and they're in Golden State or wherever. Like that I'm excited for those moments. Steph always delivers. And so I want to be able to see that, and I will feel like we were robbed if we don't get to see Steph return this playoff series. That's just, that's my feelings on this series, honestly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Golden State Warriors and them playing with their food? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.